Hello everyone. So you may have noticed the channel has changed a little bit. I'm still going to be doing the reviews, still going to be doing the vlogs. It's just that you'll see on the banner that it's more general, and also the channel name is not Oldenword Books anymore. It's just Oldenword. So that's for a variety of reasons, really. Um, I want to sort of diversify a little bit, and I also want to, for a variety of reasons, sort of just make the channel a little bit more broad. Maybe integrate some of my other projects. Maybe do some outdoor trips. Just talking about history, nature, mythology, fantasy, art, and philosophy. I recorded a video yesterday in the outdoors on a nature reserve, about 20 minutes long, so sort of a vlog. I'm not entirely sure if I'll put it up. It's more of a personal thing about nature and outdoors and whatnot. But the video quality is it's not too great because obviously there's quite a lot of wind, but you can still hear it and all that. But I'm sort of undecided whether or not to put that up. But that might serve as the first real video that sort of goes along with this channel change. So this review is going to be actually a hybrid review between a standard review plus a vlog. So thoughtful Theism. I'm not going to be talking about the book as much because I really just want to talk generally about and sort of openly about challenging yourself when reading and the value of that. And this is a great example because I never thought that I would be reading a book by a Christian, a Catholic, bringing his arguments forth about, in the most logical and clear way possible, about Christianity and why it's logical to believe in a God, if not Christianity, a God. And I found this fascinating. I was actually waiting for quite a long time to get this. It was like £14 or 15, and I waited till I got a deal for it because I really wanted to read this book. So I was looking for a while about the most rigorous and clear and sort of rational viewpoint for it. And I've thoroughly enjoyed this. So I'm not really going to be talking about too much of this is not a video about religion and metaphysics and the Big Bang and all that sort of stuff. I want to describe, want to elaborate on some things. It sort of goes hand in hand with the the vlog that I did last time. This idea of reading positively, reading books that are not nihilistic and they actually serve to make your life better in some way. They don't just dwell on. I'm not saying that it's tricky, isn't it? Because if I say something like Thomas Ligotti, if you read Thomas Ligotti, that might not give you any value, but people take value from their own. They read it in their own ways and take value from it in whatever way they can. I just don't personally see that sort of book anymore as being something that I would take like positive benefit from. Anyway, where was I? It's in a similar vein. I think you can only really grow if you read other types of books. That sounds as a pretty simple sentiment, obviously, pretty straightforward. But I'd never really gone so far as. I guess I can only give examples in this area. And I'm not going to talk about the actual subject itself because it's far too detailed for this type of video. But I had read medieval textbooks, Christianity, books on Christian art. Over time, I'd read stuff like primers on philosophy, The Passion of the Western Mind. I covered that on this channel, in fact. All that sort of stuff, and in tandem with going out to cathedrals and learning more about the history of Christianity. And in this, actually sitting down to read a Christian author and being really quite impressed by the logical sort of rigor of the book. And genuinely, there were times when I read this that I felt like, what were these beliefs that I had before? They seemed quite flimsy almost, and it's hard to describe. Because obviously, we have our own worldviews, we have our beliefs, we have sort of concrete things that we genuinely believe in and hold true and sort of dear. So I remember when I was, even just for genres of music, it's just, you think that you don't change, but you do change. And you have all these principled sets of beliefs. And eventually your mind just sort of says, that's, why stick to one thing, obviously? It's hard to get across because I genuinely, my whole thing was evolution, well it still is, but evolution, ecology, science in the broadest possible sense, the value of empiricism or rationalism, all that sort of stuff, like data. I used to be interested in, just going back to this book as well, all the usual the usual suspects, Dawkins, Hitchens, etc., etc. And over time, I've noticed that I had gone away from that for a variety of reasons, like small steps, to the point where I could read this and fully agree with, well, not fully agree, but agree with a lot of stuff that Andrew Eunan says in this book, for Theism. And I think you can really apply that and sort of extrapolate that to anything, can't you? It doesn't even have to be something so contentious and broad and complex and difficult as something as religion and belief and all that sort of stuff. It could be anything, really. I'm trying to think of other books that I've read, and unfortunately I need to do a lot more of it. I think it's because I mostly read, so I'll tell you what it is. I read mostly fiction. Then when I read non-fiction, it's more neutral things, actually, more neutral accounts of history and philosophy, because I don't often actually, I'm extolling sort of the virtue of challenging yourself and reading different viewpoints, but now that I think about it, I actually don't read as much of sort of polemic side of things, because, for example, E.O. Wilson, a famous biologist, now sort of passed away maybe like a year ago or so, I think. E.O. Wilson wrote a book called The Social Conquest of Earth, and I read the first couple of pages of that, or maybe the first chapter or something like that, and then I looked into it more, and I realised that it was just lambasted by all the different, basically all other types of biologists, evolutionists, geneticists, all that sort of stuff. And I thought, oh, I actually probably shouldn't read this because it goes against the prevailing narrative and the science behind it. And I just generally, that's just an example, but I don't actually read as much as I should do, in terms of books like this, where it is completely the opposite of what you used to believe, and you try and give the author, the person who holds these beliefs, you go into it as openly as you can. I think that's the only way you can grow, and I must have said this before in the first ever vlog that I did. I believe I said something like, I quoted or paraphrased, the unexamined life is a life not worth living, or not lived at all, or something like that. And I think that's very much the case when you're reading books like this. You're reading to improve yourself, because it's hard to describe. And I genuinely didn't think that I would ever be interested in some of the things that I'm interested in now. I never thought I would have books on sort of Christian art and on my bookshelf, especially not this. But there's also a thing as well where when you do actually see eye to eye with the author that's writing about a completely different thing than you submerged yourself in beforehand, when you do see eye to eye, there's a sort of connection there, and you see, oh wow, I never thought about it like that, or oh, I agree, and it makes you feel like it's like a synthesis, and all these different things connect, don't they? It's just like, I think on the first vlog as well, when I said, how when you read multiple books, and over time you've got all this information, you're storing it away, then eventually things come back. You do forget some things as well, but overall you make these connections, and it's a good feeling to sort of, it's like a network of knowledge, just references and sort of images that are and snippets of text. Even it could be the smallest unit, and it's like, oh, I know more about that because I've read other books. I guess it sounds fairly straightforward when I say it like that, but it all comes back to just growing as a person and growing intellectually, I think. So I wish I could really give more examples of this sort of thing. Um, I guess. Well, I guess I could read a book on why climate change is not why it's just alarmism and it's not actually a serious problem. That would be interesting to read. And I do actually. So I'll watch YouTube videos most of the time actually on from people that I really don't think I had much in common with which I had in common. Eventually, over time, I realised that I do have quite a lot in common with them in some of their viewpoints, and if you've actually changed my sort of outlook on things as well. I don't want to give too much specifics, but yeah, it's always valuable to get the other side. So I think I'll leave it there, just a shorter video. If you are interested, I would recommend this book, Thoughtful Theism, by Andrew Eunan, Redeeming Reason in an Irrational Age. This I just want to also say that this book is like critical thinking. The book talks about fallacies and different systems of logic and whatnot. Very clear. So, I don't think there's diagrams in it, but there's a lot of propositions and bullet points, and it's also written in a very it's rigorous, but it's also presented for younger readers as well. Not in a condescending way either. It's just that it's got a more casual style. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. It's always worth reading books outside your general sort of sphere of knowledge and trying to see the other side of things, because we can't really know unless we've done the work, and that's actually one of the key points in this book. So I guess I guess I can only really say, just if you're struggling with a particular topic or belief, find the best book that you can, and on that subject, and just go for it, I think. So that's been Oldenword, not Oldenword Books. I'm not sure if I'll put out this other video, but we'll see how it goes. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time. Cheers.